I have to say that's my favorite compliment that I get from fans. It's like, man, you guys sound just like the record, if not better. Coming to the
Right.
show, it's not gonna dip down, man. It's the energy that was going up, baby.
Right. And that's huge. That's huge. Now, talk about you as a guitar player and writing. Like you've used like really like organic distorted tones like okay, last year's A Devil More Damned. That was just distortion.
Yeah, done more jam, man.
But earlier, like in other songs, you've had like really processed songs. I mean, really processed tones, like "Feel Like I Do" from years ago. Like really,
Yeah, I
like
put a lot of effects on that.
right. So now, do you play with sounds and that leads to an idea, or do you write a riff or a song and then go, "Let me play with some sounds and see what sounds good for this"? Like, which one comes
Um,
first?
I usually do. I do for the song itself. I'll change the tone on it. I mean, I have my go-to rig and my main thing. I've been a Marshall guy since day one, but I've also like kind of mod my stuff, like because some people say Marshall comes out kind of bright, so I always change out the tubes and a few little things in my amp. So I'm really big on like sounding like is just sound like how I want to sound. Um, so the blunt force of the rhythm is definitely comes from that, and I play on BC Rich guitars, and I've just with
Right.
every record, I've always kind of used Marshall, but I'm effects man. Back when we first got started, that Digitech 2112, that
Sure.
1101 is what I use, and wah pedals. I was wah pedal junkie, so I backed off that. But there's a brand new wah pedal that I just got right when we were writing this new song. So I put my wah stank all over it, so it has that traditional sound for me with it. But I write for the song, the tones for the songs, man. I have like 50 plus guitars because I collect them and I love them, and
Yeah.
they all have a different sound and feel to it. So it's awesome. In my house, in my home studio, I have the big foyer, whatever you call it, and I have 3 rows. I have like 20 guitars out there, so I'll go out there and try to pick which one I think would be great for the song. And my wife's always like, "Are you shopping, baby?" Because I'm always like, "I think I could use the PRS on this one this time, or maybe I'll use that straddle that one." It's just, but
Right.
I always go to my PC Rich.
Do you have anything that would surprise a player as far as your guitar collection? Like, is there like any like ES335s hanging on the wall, or is it mostly like
Um, you
humbucker
know,
stuff?
I I have a lot of I had a custom Bs I made with I was on before BC Rich. Which man, now you got me thinking about all the guitars. I'm like, oh, just the catalog's something. I was on ESP for a little bit. Those are some great guitars.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Dina too. I have a bunch of Ovations that I love acoustic wise, but
Yeah.
um, my first, I still go to my very first acoustic guitar was just the Alvarez Regent, and my daughter, who's 3, loves that guitar. She's
I had
always
an
wanted to
Alvarez.
play
They're
on it.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds great. I don't know. Michael Kelly. I mean, I have some Les Pauls that I did write and record with on the Center record, but there's a brand called Michael Kelly, which to me, it's a Les Paul style. It just to that one, it just feels a little bit closer to what I want when I'm trying to go for that sound because I'm a huge Led Zeppelin fan. On top of it, I mean, who isn't if you play rock and roll? But also like get down and dirty with BC Riches with my Mockingbirds, bro. I have so many Mockingbirds, and I have a new design I'm trying to get going with them that I can't tell you about yet. But I'm probably gonna go home and get a chunk of wood and just make it to prototype myself. I never took a wood shop. I was an electrician, but hey, I'm gonna figure it out, man. I have it in my head, this BC Rich style that I want to do.
What kind of neck shape do you like?
The next shape,
Yeah. Do you like
um,
a fatter
I,
neck, like a Les Paul, or
I
I
like
ask
the
because I've
fat
never
necks.
owned a BC Rich, so I'm not familiar with their necks.
Yeah, they got chunky ones too. They have this. I have this one white model that's basically built like out of like it has a Les Paul all kind of like bevel to it and everything, man. It feels. I have a couple Mockingbirds that have that feel to it, and have some of them that are. One of the new ones has a thinner neck that's more like a shredder neck. So I like them both for different reasons, man. Like if I'm getting down shred on a few songs, I'll probably get the one with the thinner neck. But chunky rhythms, man. I love the thick, heavy
Right.
guitars, man. My custom Bs are like super heavy, thick chunks of wood, just because it's metal.
Yeah, totally. Now, when you're writing songs, you, I know you and Mike and Stevie all bring in ideas. You personally do you usually start off with just like a riff, or do you think like, okay, I like this
Oh,
chord progression, I want to do something in C major, or what's usually the idea for you?
it's always completely different, man. It's so wild. Sometimes I'll just have a melody in my head. Sometimes I'll have a lyric. A lot of times, I mean, I think on the most regular, I'm just jamming out the guitar. I'll come with some riffs, but even
Right.
sometimes playing on the bass or the acoustic, I'll come up with ideas. The thing that really gets me flowing, and that's what I love about touring again, is coming off stage with that adrenaline. And I think some of the best stuff or some of my greatest ideas come off stage. And sometimes I'll come right on the bus and grab my guitar and come up with a riff because I have that energy from, we
Sure.
just got done playing bodies and you're elevated like that. So A lot of riffs come from that, but they come from all over the place, man. Sometimes it's a beat, you know. I'll just mess around. You know, I have the home studio. I have, you know, drums, guitar, bass, I have everything there. And sometimes you just have this cool beat and you write it around it. So it's I pull from everywhere, man. It's a mix. It's, you know, I would say the majority, 60% is probably on the guitar, but sometimes I write on the bass. Sometimes it's just the lyrics and the melody, man. You know,
Yeah, that
whatever
makes sense.
inspires.
Yeah, because sometimes I'll think of a melody in my head and I'll get a guitar and want to work on it. And usually that doesn't work out, but it puts the guitar in my hand. And by trying
Yeah.
that idea, you might come up with something that's different or better. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
totally.
used to be in a really good habit of getting up in the morning. I just haven't had time lately. We're on tour doing it, but when I'm at the house, I'll get up in the morning, get a coffee, and play my guitar, and just play it first thing in the morning. And sometimes I'll come up with some stuff, sometimes I won't. But I realize when I pick it back up later on in the day, it's just something in my brain is just it's smoother. It's easier when you have an idea to just like attack it, and
Mhm.
it's fun at this age too. Like just playing. I've been playing my whole life. I've been very fortunate to play, and I love it. I'm passionate about music, and you know, I get an idea and a thought. It seems like it comes together faster and easier now just because, you know, we've done it so long. But and also not everything you write is the greatest thing. Like I just write what you feel right. And then, you know, with every 5 or 6 ideas, man, when that's a great one. Go for it. You know, for everything I do, you know, maybe every 5 songs or so, that one works for Drowning Pool. So if this is just a back catalog or do something else, man. It's nice to have a big bag of, you know, to say tricks or stuff to
Sure.
pull from already. But I also think it's just like mental. It's like um you know, it's like almost like a therapy. You have a thought or a feeling, you write a song about it, and then you get it off your chest, whether it's a Drownful song or not. It's still like therapy in a
Sure.
sense. That keeps me sane. Well,
Yeah,
as sane
totally.
as we can be in this world. I'm a little
When you
crazy.
were first learning guitar, or at what point in your playing did you get into drop tuning?
Oh, drop tuning. Well, you know, I started playing. It's wild. I started playing at church when I was on Sundays when I was 14.
Mhm.
Which kind of fast tracked me to like really like learn how to sight read it and all that stuff. Yeah, I started getting the drop C. You know, I was doing some, you know, I did some death metal stuff too. I was in a death metal band called Flesh Parade for a little bit, and we just drop tuned all that low stuff. So it was a mix up between, you know, I was playing at church on Sundays, but I'm also playing with my buds in high school playing death metal. So
Mhm.
that's when I really started dropping it down. And you know, when we got together with Brandon Poole, it just, you know, with Dave Williams' voice, once he came into the band after, you know, Mike and Steve and myself had been writing songs, and we had probably a good half of the center record just raw, you know, the raw inception of it done before we got David who put the icing on the cake. Um, and just drop C seemed to work great for his voice and for what we were doing. Some stuff's in drop B, some's in drop a few
Yeah.
songs. It's just I write now. This is another thing I've learned over the years. I'll change keys in the song to see what works best, especially there with Ryan back in the band. I'll write a riff and like once it gets close, I'll do it drop E, drop C, drop D, and drop A, and just see which one works for
Right.
his voice and his vocal that's best for the song. I mean, I kind of sit around playing drop C and drop B, but that's not always the best key for a song. We have some stuff in drop D. I mean, my songs in pretty much all kind of tunings. It's just what works for the song and for the where the singing and the vocal sits within the song is what you should, you know, try to do, man. Because like, you know, they're trying to make the dude sing in a key that's not comfortable with to get the point across with the music.